one of the things that I've heard you comment on before as well is what you've called the Socratic method of learning, and the questioning that we do.
Yes.
Could you comment a bit on that?
You provide those questions, those really thought-provoking questions for students. And I think you've mentioned before that sometimes students say, nobody's ever asked me a question like that before. Or, you start with one question and then it kind of leads into other questions. So it really allows that self-reflection that we're really trying to get to with career development. Because if we go back to the very foundations of career development, it's about know yourself and then learn about the world of work. So how do we help students know themselves? So you're providing these kinds of thought questions that allow them to relate what they're learning to their own lives.
And when you talk about relating that to their real lives, that makes me think about not only do they relate that to what's going on today, we've also heard from students and that they're able to bring forward their lived experience in a new language. And they
Right.
see that what I've had before has been conflict, and how did I resolve that conflict? How did I demonstrate resilience? A lot of the learners we work with at Jobs for America's graduates, for example, have barriers that they're up against. And they
Yes.
talk about how they've overcome those barriers in the language of skills. And they start to realize that their lived experience brought forward is valuable in life, and
Yes.
they can describe it.
And if they learn to do that, that really is the kind of skill that they can take to talking to an employer or eventually in a job interview, because they're saying, I have overcome diversity before. I can solve problems. And here's an example of how I did that in the past.